we doing the band? Oh, we're not gonna go to the band yet? It's my turn. We're live. Come tomorrow, my people, June 7, 2018, the Jamaica National Heritage Trust will be staging its annual Port Royal Earthquake Awareness Day of activities, marking the 326th anniversary of the 1692 earthquake that destroyed the Port Royal city. To tell us about the plans and more on the development of the Port Royal is Executive Director at the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, Mr. Gray, Doric Gray. Good morning, and Director of Communications at the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, Kimberly McLaughlin. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
McLaughlin and Mr. Gray. Yes. It was a long time ago, huh? 326 years.
326 years.
Wow. 1692.
1692.
Wow. A terrible time.
Yes, and we know, based on the underwater excavations that we have carried out, that what happened on the day, on the 7th of June.
Let's go through that day. Take us on a walk down memory lane.
Yes.
Yeah. What happened from all of the information?
First of all, here it was in the 1680s. Before the earthquake occurred, there was 51 acres of land where this city, which was called the first and one of the most important English cities in the Americas. And it had about 2,000 houses, 3-4 stories, brick buildings, population between 7 to 10,000. At that time in the 17th century, this was the city of the Americas, in the Americas. The earthquake occurred, of course, in 1692, but by the 1690s, this was where everything was. It was involving trade with the Spanish Main. It was one of the slave ports where enslaved Africans were traded. They were getting silver and gold bullion, which of course was to fuel the Industrial Revolution, which was later to come in the 19th century in England. But suddenly on the 7th of June, something happened. And about 33 acres of land sank into the sea. The forts that were built around also sank. So we know where Fort James is. There was Fort Carlisle in 25 feet of water. James is in 35 feet. Rupert sank. Fort Charles, which you know today, went down about 3¼ feet.
And they were named after?
They were named after the various generals and colonels that came into Port Royal at the time.
Yeah. And so you've been able to go under.
Yes.
And
no, we after.
Hang on, you're an archaeologist?
Yes, I am.
An underwater.
Yes.
Only underwater.
Yeah, let me just
Jamaica.
listen to this, people. I mean, this is. I'm so fascinated. You are the only underwater archaeologist in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, yes.
And so you've gone under.
Yes.
And looked yourself, touched, excavated.
Excavate, yes.
Tell me, like, talk at you. How far you go? What? I mean, I know you told us about the fourth.
Well, the underwater city is about 18 to 20 feet.
Yes.
And when we carried out the excavations, we know, like, for example, on the bottom, about 18, 20 feet in Port Royal, it's about, there's a layer of eelgrass which we have to clear. And then there's a layer about 3 or 4 feet thick of broken corals. And these were from the hurricane, 1712 and 1722. Very sharp, but we had to have on these long overalls.
Right.
But you clear that,
yes,
and you're actually in the 17th century. You are finding the floors, the buildings, some of the walls, because what happened was Port Royal itself is a sand spit. And at the time, limestone is about 100 feet down. At the time, the sand on top liquefied. So it was like quicksand. So the buildings went down vertically, the walls fell in, some fell in, some fell out.
You know, I have to, unfortunately, I can hear my producer telling me we have 2 minutes. Yeah. And I'm very fascinated by this story. And I want to be able to follow up, and our viewers want to follow up. So tomorrow, What are we going to be doing? How can we be a part of this?
Well, tomorrow we have our 1692 remembering the earthquake. It's our symposium, and it is free and it's open to all members of the public. And we ask for people to come in so they can see exactly what the JNHD is doing, because what we're doing, we are remembering, we are rebuilding, and we are restoring. And all of this ties in with the development plans that are at hand, not just from the JNHD, but also for our partners for Port Royal development.
Yes.
Because we support development, but it has to be sustainable.
Of course.
And it has to be responsible tourism development.
Well, I was just about to ask you about us is it a heritage site?
It
Port
is
Royal
declared by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust.
Trust as a heritage
But
site. Yes.
what we have been doing
Yeah.
in that regards is that we are working towards making Port Royal a World Heritage Site.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes.
People would love to come. And let me
definitely.
ask you something. Can we, as you know, I'm just fascinated by what you do, underwater archaeologists, right? You go under. Can we also dive and go under and tour? If we're divers?
Well, we have not.
It's not encouraged at this moment.
We have
but
not put in place the
Yes.
things that will
But it's
ensure that
possible.
it is sustainable. But we feel that this site belongs to all Jamaica.
No,
Because
must-
of that, our people must have access.
Yes.
So we'll be creating that. Of course.
Nice, nice.
So
All right. So,
real quick, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yep.
tomorrow at Fort Charles, we'll be having the symposium. And I'd like to take the opportunity just to thank our partners, Heart
The
Institute
floor is
of the
on the
Caribbean, ODPEM, and all of our other partners. Thank you so much. And we invite all members of the public to come and see what we have in store. Attractions, tours, walking tours, and a lot of interesting exhibitions.
I love that.
Yes.
And I'm sure people died, of course.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
In
so
fact,
did you
in the
find-
excavations,
Yes.
we found a leg over there, an arm over
I
there.
was gonna say, you
as
must have
part of the thing.
remains.
But
Right.
I think, well,
I need
we
to.
found eventually
Yeah.
the remains of 3 children in one of the buildings.
Oh, God.
So it was so sad. But we reburied them in 1992
Were
in the
they
churchyard.
African or were they?
Well, they were about very young,
European.
about 3.
Do you know do you know
4
who
years
they
old.
were?
so
Like what the race?
no.
No, it's hard to tell.
No.
Well, oh my gosh, this is very interesting. All right. Interesting. Thank you so much. All right. Executive Director and Director of Communications at the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, Doric Gray and Kimberly McLaughlin, on the Port Royal Earthquake Awareness Day. Is happening tomorrow. So be there at the symposium at 10 o'clock,
10 o'clock.
to
10 to
2 o'clock at the...
Fort Charles.
At Fort Charles.
And it's
all
free.
And it's free. FREE. We go over to the band now. Simon Plummer and friends take us to the break. More on Smile when we return.